Hi, Wendy.
Hey, Elena.
Making you the host. Perfect.
It's so dark today.
Hi, Yolanda. Welcome from Switzerland. Let's overcast. We'll be starting shortly. Hang on. All right, in our PowerPoint. Thanks, Thierry. That's great. He was able to do that. Hi, Gary from Australia. Welcome. Gary is at BNI meeting, but is putting BNI on hold for us, Wendy. Welcome, Jillian from New York City. Welcome, Jody from Vegas, right? Jody, are you in Vegas? I think so. You're all unmuted. If you'd like to speak, feel free to unmute. And you too, Wendy, unmute yourself when you want to speak. Great. Let me get my coffee. Perfect. We'll be starting shortly. Welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing? Let me see it in the chat box. Let us know where you're connecting from, more people are coming on. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes.
Hello, Elena. It's Jody from Las Vegas.
Hi, Jody. How are you?
Good. I'm off today, but I'm on the call.
That says a lot about you. I'm so impressed. Very nice. Very nice.
Right. Hi, Elena. It's Jillian from New York City.
Hi, Jillian. Looking good. Are you at your office?
Yes, I have an open house after we're done.
Very good. So you are effectively managing your time.
Yes.
Perfect. Hi, Yolanda. Very good. Okay. And Dr. Stuber from New Jersey. Excellent. Make sure you hydrate. So you'll be able to talk a lot. Okay. And Cheryl, welcome Cheryl from Washington, and welcome Tim. Very good. What a nice group of people. Thank you for joining. And thank you, Matt from New York. Matt, sorry, I had to put you, I know you were testing the connection earlier. We were also testing it, so I had to put you in the waiting room, but I'm glad you came back. Salud. Excellent. Okay. So, what do you say, Wendy? Shall we give it one more minute? It's 1 o'clock.
Sure.
Okay. All right, Tim, let us know how you're doing today, where you're connecting from. You can practice in the chat box, Matt and everybody else. Perfect. How do you like my background? I'm in Hawaii. Excellent, I'm kidding. It's a virtual background. That's pretty neat, huh? All right, welcome Mary from Kansas and Julie. I think Julie is also from New Jersey. If it's the right Julie. There you go. Okay, fantastic. And welcome Mike from Ohio. Fantastic. Wendy, how do you like our sample of the population here today?
Great.
We cover east to west, and so far we cover 3 continents. Wonderful. Great. Okay. So, and Mary from Wichita, Kansas. That's right. That's right. Okay. So I would say, because we have a lot to cover, let's start, and then I'll admit people as they get in, and they'll catch on. How's that? Okay. Julie, welcome from New Jersey. Okay. So most of you know me, and today I have a big surprise for you. As you may know, I'm co-hosting the Mastermind with a very good friend of mine, someone who's as knowledgeable and as big-hearted, helps a lot of people from all over the world. She's a certified coach with the ICF, International Coach Federation. She's also one of my mentors. And I've learned a lot from her. She has taken me under her wings when I moved to this part of the country. And I'm so grateful that she has agreed to co-host and facilitate this mastermind today. As you know, the topic is a topic you all have brought up over and over again in different meetings, during the mastermind, during group coaching, one-on-one coaching. So it's all about how to manage effectively your time so that you stay calm and relaxed, you stay focused, and you're able to always feel reignited and re-energized. So you can unmute yourself and let me help me give a big warm round of applause to Wendy Preisler. Welcome, Wendy. Thank you for
Elena.
being with us here today, and welcome Raj. Very good, very good. So we will get started. And okay. My PowerPoint is not cooperating. Let's see. There you go. Okay, so let's Wendy, why don't you start?
Sure. So the first thing we wanted to do was talk a little bit. That's annoying.
Yeah, I'll take care of the noises. Mm-hmm. If you have a noisy background, please unmute yourself.
It's my noisy background.
Okay, sure.
Sorry. The first thing we wanted to do was talk about what are some of the things that stress you out and challenges that you have when it comes to time management. So we'd love to hear a few examples from you and have you share what are the things that are the biggest things on your mind?
And please do know everything is confidential. The more you share, the more you'll be able to mastermind, get advice, get coaching, get ideas, best practices, and so on. So under participants, you see actually a hand button. A hand button. You can raise your hand and I'll unmute you, or just unmute yourself and speak up. Let's take at least one share. All right, I know you're not a shy group, so have a sip of coffee and go for it. If not, I'll randomly pick. Okay, Cheryl, Mary, let's hear from you. I see you're unmuted. Okay, maybe your audio is not cooperating. Okay, who would like to share? And
I'll try.
Okay, go for it, Jody.
I wanted to ask Wendy, time management, best practice to get started hitting the ground running in the morning, high energy morning.
Okay.
It's a question or it's a challenge you have?
Both. It's a challenge. So my question is how best to hit the ground running in the morning with maximum energy.
Okay, and that's what we want to do. We want to do some brainstorming together, but first we'd love to hear a few more just challenges, the things that stress you out most. So the first thing we're hearing is hitting the ground running in the morning. Can we get just a few more shares and we'll bring them all together?
Yes, it's Jillian. When's the best time to create your to-do list? In the morning or the night before?
Okay. Who else has some?
I think my challenge is about email management and feeling like whenever I get through all the emails, if I turn away for 10 minutes, they're all back again. So how often should you check email, and do you do it one at a time or in a batch process?
Mm-hmm.
Great questions, everybody. Okay.
Any others?
I think one of my questions, this is Julie, is I work from home, so all the time could be work time. How do I do have good boundaries, except when there's a lot to do, you know? So how do I create those and maintain those boundaries more effectively?
Okay. Great. So before Elena and I jump in and give our, oh, Yolanda says challenges setting priorities. Okay.
And we'll cover that. Right.
So before Elena and I jump in, who's got some best practices from your own experience?
That at some point in your life at least have worked.
I think one thing I can share is that in the morning is when I have the most energy. So if I take on some of the more difficult items in the morning, they always go more easily than if I take them on the end of the day. So I think time shifting your action items for everyone's got a circadian rhythm of some sort, I'm sure.
That's great, Matt.
I try to block out time for my major items to do those. So blocking out time. And I've learned a lot of that from Dawn. So yeah, I try to block out a lot of times out to be able to get a lot of my stuff done.
Nice.
Yeah, Dawn is good at eliminating distraction, almost too good. He doesn't even respond anymore. Okay. Very good. Good job masterminding, everybody. This is excellent. Okay, so let's then let's ask one more question, and then we can see we can go over brainstorm some specific customized practices for you. So you said something worked, and Julie, you as you were talking, your amazing cat was strolling in the background. That's a great way to manage your time and relieve stress. Petting your pet. There you go. If you use some practices, Matt mentioned the circadian rhythm. Why didn't you keep it up? Why did you stop? Why didn't you continue? We would like to find that out. Anybody who would like to share? And Dr. Stuber says, I use an easy leading task to get myself started. So easy leading task, that must be the name of the software. And Mike, a short nap, very good, or walk, helps me stay concentrate better in the afternoon. The nap is more effective. If you have a chance to take a nap, so Mike, you must have a sofa couch at your office, or maybe you do it when you work from home. Okay, great. Anybody else would like to share? If you use something successfully, why did you stop working? What happened exactly? There's no right or wrong, but we're here to discuss and untangle.
Well, Elena, I can go. I think sometimes, I think I used to use like a low, medium, high priority system, and then it got frustrated because I had too many to-dos, and so I had too many to-dos in every category, and then I was losing the real low, medium, and high priority, and I wasn't getting to any of the low stuff ever. It just kept growing on the back end of the list. So I would love to hear more later in the call about a real filtering system that keeps stuff fresh and dynamic rather than just keeps the back end of the list growing.
Makes sense. Okay, very good. So more and more demands. Okay, and Cheryl says meditation works to get focused, but sometimes by curiosity of the email. So again, the temptations catches my attention first. I'm sure we've all been quote unquote victims of that and experienced it. Okay, so all right. Before we untangle that, let's get into it. Let's really get into it. So I would like to do a guided visualization so you can completely relax and get into it. Please close your eyes. Take 3 deep and long breaths in and out. Good job. Relax in your chair. Tune out all of the distractions and be totally here, present. You owe it to yourself. You deserve it to find that relaxation that you crave so much. And imagine yourself at a dock in a quiet lake. See the sun setting over the water. Hear the birds singing. Smell the pine trees and feel the cool water on your bare feet. Taste the fresh, clean and crisp air. That's right. Keep your eyes closed and enjoy the feeling of your worries drifting away as you slowly explore your relaxing environment and this beautiful water and waves. Now you are resting on the lake's white sandy beach and you feel safe and calm as you notice how turquoise the water is and as clear and how blue the sky is. You hear the sound of soft waves as the tide gently and more gently rolls in and out. That's right, just like your quiet and relaxed breath. The weight of your body is sinking into your beach chair. The warmth of the sand on your feet. And a large umbrella is keeping you slightly shaded, creating just the right temperature. Relax your face and let go of any tension in your forehead, between your eyebrows, your neck, and your throat. Soften your eyes and relax. Allow your breath to slow down and match the rolling waves of the water. That's right. Take it all in. It's the same feeling as lying down in a large field of flowers and grass that you've had before, or just like enjoying a beautiful view of a mountain or forest, which you will be able to enjoy again in the very near future. That's right. When you feel ready to leave your relaxation scene, take your time and stay relaxed. You now remember that there are infinite healthy ways to relax and recharge, such as spending time in nature like you're doing now, calling your coach, moving your body and limbs, journaling, taking a long bath, shower, or swim, lighting an aromatic candle, savoring your favorite beverage, petting a pet, getting a massage, curling up with your favorite book, listening to nice music, watching a comedy. You now create your own fun, simple, and successful system to manage time and relaxation, such as your smart, color-coded calendar. You stay organized, you stay result-focused, and you feel recharged daily. You successfully manage who and what is surrounding you. That's right. You love yourself and your life. You reward yourself and have some fun daily. You nourish your body with healthy foods. You're prepared and plan ahead. Whatever you want to do tomorrow, you do it now. You relax your standards of performance. You know that for every one thing that goes wrong, there are hundreds of blessings. You say no when needed. You unplug your electronics to recharge. You turn needs into preferences, and your circle of influence supports you and relax you because you pace yourself, you help others, you look and feel good, you think happy thoughts, delegate responsibility to capable others, and you forgive. That's right. You now slowly start walking away from the beach. This beautiful place is here for you whenever you want to come back. So take 3 long and deep breaths now. And gently open your eyes and welcome back. Welcome back. And here you are. Fantastic. I hope it was relaxing. And Wendy is going to lead us into this priority exercise.
I think before we do that, Elena, I think we probably want to go back and talk about where we started.
Yes.
As far as best practices, because we didn't really address that. So a couple of them I'd like to do together. So how to hit the ground running in the morning and when to do the to-do list. I think those are really tie in nicely. And for me, it also ties in with how to get a really good night's sleep. So what I've found and what some studies seem to show is that if you put down your top priorities before you go to bed at night, you get them out of your head and onto paper so that you can get that good night's sleep because you don't have them twirling around in your mind, as my mind loves to do if I don't do it when I get into bed. And then secondly, when you get up in the morning, you really do know. And as Matt said, you start with the big ticket items, right? The things that you have to get done, not the things that are the easiest. Some of us tend to fall into that trap of, I'll just do the easy thing, the thing I can check off so that I can have the most tick marks on my to-do list, cross off the most things. But at the end of the day, the most important things can then still be sitting there undone. So typically that's not what's most effective. So to really hit the ground running, I do what Matt does and start with those big ticket items. And then I love your question about how to set boundaries when you work from home. I remember when I bought my first house and I was kind of right out of college, and it was so easy to get up in the morning and go straight to the computer and still be at my computer. And it wasn't until my roommate would come home that I would notice it was dark out and maybe I should stop working. So the question is for you, what are those boundaries you want to set? And then what's a structure you can put in place that will support you? Do you want to have only an 8-hour workday? Do you have another commitment to yourself to go to the gym? In which case, what's the time you want to go to the gym? And what's the structure that you need? Do you need to set an alarm so that at a certain time you turn off the computer and go do that? Or do you need to have a friend that that calls to, you know, go meet you to go to the gym together? But whatever that structure is, you decide what it is that you need to do to stop working, whether that's just resting, relaxing, cooking a healthy meal. But you know you have things on your plate other than just working a 12-hour day, right? What did we not cover? Too many to-dos?
Yes.
So how do you handle that? Because we know that we can always add to the list, right? For all of us.
Correct.
So what has someone done that has worked? You can't stop coming up with ideas. I think that's what they call the dash between the two gates.
Okay.
I think one thing I do is to try to identify where my worry is coming from, so I can get worried, concerned, overwhelmed with my do list, and then more do list items come at me, or I come up with new ones. And so I can get, look at it and feel overwhelmed, or I can say, well, I think I'm making up a lot of the fear. Which are the really important ones to do? Which ones have real consequences if they're not done timely or thoroughly, or for the benefit or detraction of somebody else? And so coming sort of, using some cognitive behavioral therapy, it's like sort of right sizing the worry and asking things like, a year from now, would this matter if it was or was not done? And trying to give myself little life hacks that can figure out what's my critical path.
Nice. And the other question I would ask is, are these items that are related to major projects that you're trying to move forward in your life? Or are these just maintenance items, like once a month I should probably be mowing the lawn? Or is this, hey, I said I was going to write a book 12 months from now, so I need to spend 2 hours a week writing?
Matt, what do you think?
Well, the one thing that brings up in me is kind of like coming up with your goals. It's like, if I have a goal of eating, sleeping, and exercise as 3 legs of the stool, which will help to ground me and create a healthier life, well, the to-dos related to eating, sleeping, and exercise are important, whether it's food shopping or going to the gym on regular schedule, or knowing when to knock off work and relax to go to bed. So I think that's what sparks in me, is the to-dos are all related to some overarching goal, whether it's mundane stuff or big important project stuff. So knowing the goal can help to decide which to-dos to do, because some goals are more important than others.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I was, this is Julie, I was told once in my work day, first thing to focus on as a solopreneur was to focus on the money generating activities first. So that's what I do. I go through my email, but I'm looking for emails from a potential new client, an existing client, so that I respond to those first, and then I'll look at other things. So that's been very helpful to me. It's ended up generating a lot of referrals and follow-up business.
Great. That's really good. I think somebody else also asked about the distraction of emails and batching. So that's a really good point too. And I think that if you read the studies, we think we're all pretty good at multitasking, and we're not. The studies show that it takes us about 15 minutes to fully refocus on a new activity. So the best practice is actually to batch all of your activities. So even if you're doing as Matt suggested, where you're focusing on those big ticket items that are going to make the biggest difference in your day first, you may get to a point where you need a break. So that break could be to spend 20 minutes going through emails, right? Or it could be to walk around the block. But what you don't want to do is every 10 minutes take a look at email and then switch back to the important thing, and then go back to email and then back to the important thing. That's not going to be effective, right? So whether it's looking at email for 15 minutes 3 times a day, or whatever it is, you definitely want to do it in batches and not look at it every 5 minutes.
Such as batches, like at 10 p.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m.
Whatever works. For some people, it's once an hour instead of once a minute. So sometimes you have to kind of create a low gradient for the people who are used to doing it nonstop. Sometimes it's literally training themselves to do it once an hour, which is very painful for them. And then they can get to once every 2 hours.
Right.
So
Okay, very good. Mary says, I find that when I take time to plan, I'm able to focus more on priorities. And Julie, The Brain at Work is a great book that explains why we can focus on more than one thing at a time and how to maximize our productivity using brain science. Excellent. Very good. Thank you all for sharing what's going on in your head as you go through your day and more is thrown at you. So, Wendy, what do you think? Shall we cover priorities?
Let's do it.
Okay. Would you like to read this part?
Sure.
Okay, correct.
So we'd love to know, when you think about the top priorities for each of you, what comes to mind? We'd love to have you share, and ideally have at least one gentleman and one of the ladies on the call share your priorities in order of how they occur for you.
And Raj, since I unmuted you, since Raj has been my co-host last month, and why don't you share what you how you use the Pomodoro technique to help you with priorities?
Sure. What I do is basically set a timer to work for 20 minutes, or 25 minutes rather, focused work where it's no distractions. That means if I get a text message, if I get an email or a phone call, I actually don't look at anything because I'll get distracted so easily. And then after that 25 minutes of focused, very focused, whatever I set out to do, then I take a 5-minute break. And on that break, I can check text messages. I can look at my phone. What I typically do is then use that 5 minutes to exercise. So then I'll just do a couple sets of some quick exercise for 5 minutes, or do a snack and then go back to it again for another 25 minutes. And I'll repeat that process over and over.
So Raj, would you be willing to share with us, in your life, what are your top priorities?
Sure. In my life, my top priorities would be definitely family and travel. That's what I love to do personally. A lot of it, a lot of both of those things. But what I use this for is not for that. It's more for when I have to actually get business stuff done, work stuff done, whether it's updating my website, emails, anything like that.
Okay. And is family number one?
I don't have a family of my own yet, but yes, my extended family still is number one. But I also like to have my clients and tenants as number one as well.
Okay, so if you had to choose only one number one priority in your life, what would it be?
Family, by far.
And then number two for you?
Number two would be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and number three would be clients and tenants, same thing.
Okay, so career is number three?
Yes.
Okay, and after that?
After that, as far as priorities, well, health needs to go up there as well, but probably realistically, health comes right after that, as my results show.
Okay. So family, friends, career, and then health.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Who else will share?
Mary's sharing in the question box, and Jory, two ladies.
So Mary's saying health, family, wealth. And Jody's saying health and then family. And so Mary, with health and family, can I ask who makes up your family?
You're unmuted, Mary. Let's see.
For anyone typing family into the box, if you could divide that between spouse, kids, and extended family, that would be helpful.
Okay. Right.
My family would be my daughter, my intermediate, like my kids, then my grandkids. Those two come, and then my spouse from my family.
Okay, so Jody's saying health, kids,
Grandkids.
health kids, grandkids, and where does spouse go?
At the end.
We won't tell him.
It's okay. I don't think he cares. A story for another day.
Okay. So, are you interested in knowing from a coaching perspective what we would recommend?
Yes.
So, from a coaching perspective, we recommend that you put yourself first.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because several of the women who responded put health first, and I read health as yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's what mine is.
And I find that really uncommon. I do executive and leadership coaching, and most of my female clients completely forget to put themselves on the list whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. And the men typically do put themselves on the list, although it's quite towards the bottom. And which I always find pretty funny. But
this is a special group.
Yeah, you guys are great. So we do recommend that you put yourself first. And the reason for that is no different than when you get on an airplane and they say in the unlikely event that there's a change in air pressure and the oxygen mask falls, that you need to put yours on before you help anyone else. It's really about recharging your batteries. And if you have an empty cup, you cannot refill anyone else's. So you have to do things that recharge your batteries. So you have to take care of yourself first. Typically then you would have your life partner or your spouse next. If it's just a boyfriend or girlfriend, that doesn't really count as next. We're talking about someone who's a life partner that you have basically committed to spend the rest of your life with, whether that's someone you've actually married or not, but someone that you've made that commitment to. And because they're going to jump in, they've committed to spend their life with you, and they will jump in and do the right thing. And whether it's taking care of you or taking care of your kids, providing the financial resources if you can't, basically stepping in and stepping up, because your futures are inextricably entwined, right? And then typically your career is going to come next. And the reason for that, especially in North America, and I know this is an international mastermind group we're on, but particularly in North America, our view of ourself is quite linked with our career, as well as without money, there's a big problem. Most people haven't done what we would have liked to have done, perhaps, in terms of having the kind of savings set aside for a rainy day. And for most people, if the career goes away, it's not long before it's a problem. So career comes third, and then it's family and friends. And those are somewhat interchangeable. And because we're talking about recharging your batteries, let's say you have a really toxic family. Your friends might come next and the family might be at the bottom. But you have a loving family and it really fills you up to be with your family. Then your family probably comes first and your friends come afterwards. Does that make sense? Any questions about that?
Or any insight you got from this? Raj was saying powerful. Cheryl, Julie also made a comment. If you'd like to share out loud, what's your realizations, your revelation, aha moment here? Unmute yourself. And well done explaining it, Wendy. Okay, let's hear from a lady and a gentleman. So Raj, would you like to go again? This is huge. Raj?
Sure, you got me there. I didn't think of that one. So myself, I guess I did when I said health, but I was being honest with just based on my results. It shows that I do leave that after the others. That's why it's not exactly where I want to be, because I haven't put enough attention and focus there. But at least now from doing this exercise, I can consciously say, okay, that's first. That must be first before tending to other people. The most important is myself. So very powerful.
Very good. I remember, I hope you don't mind me sharing this story. I've known Raj for a very long time. And at the beginning of his career, he was doing more live performances on stages with the arts. And so I challenged him to take off his shirt on stage. And a little cliche, but so you had to work towards it, right? And how did that go, having that goal? Where
Didn't get fully there yet. Still a work in progress.
All right, so we're gonna challenge you to remove that shirt again, huh? When's the next performance?
October, Spain and Holland, yeah.
Very good, Europe. Okay, so you may have to rework your calendar. And let's hear from one of the ladies, Julie or Cheryl, any realization. Mary, feel free to unmute yourself. Yeah, Mary's saying, I think a lot of people, good health is not a priority until they no longer have good health. So the whole thing about prevention and rainy day, like Wendy was saying earlier, and waiting until last minute. Okay. Does any lady want to share a realization you've just had? If not, we'll move forward. Okay, so we'll move forward. And okay, so Wendy, would you like to cover this part as well, since you did it so beautifully? Isn't Wendy such a pro? Are you all enjoying her agreeing to do this for free today and being here with us and sharing her expertise? She really has helped CEOs of Fortune companies from all over the world, and here she is with us today.
So I kind of like this. Elena gets all the credit for the slides, but I like the graphic here with the balls, if you will, because it does end up for a lot of us being like juggling balls when we have our career and our wellness and our families to take care of, right? And I remember once talking to an executive who said to me that when he first got promoted years before to the level of executive, to director, his boss had told him, now here's what you need to know. At this level, between your career and your fitness and your family, you will only ever be able to succeed at 2 of the 3. And the poor guy believed him. So he bought into this idea that he was always going to fail at one of these 3 areas. And from that day forward, as he had made his way into the director level, he did. And when I was talking to him, he was a VP, and he struggled with one of the 3, and it would shift. Sometimes it was his marriage that had struggled, and sometimes it was his fitness, and sometimes it was the career. But he bought into that limiting belief that one of them was going to struggle. So don't buy into that. That's nonsense, right? If you believe it, you're going to be right, but it doesn't have to be that way. So my question for all of you is, what's it like for you? And does it occur like that it's going to be an issue to balance these 3 different areas?
Okay, can you rephrase the question, Wendy, so we're all clear? What's the question again?
Yeah, so the question is it an issue to try to balance career, family, and wellness?
To balance all 3. Okay, so from your private personal experience, anybody who would like to share. Is it an issue, I'll type it here, to balance all three, career, family, or relations? Let's just say relations, and health.
I would say for me, it's about being present in the moment, because I have way too many goals. I have way too many health goals, relationship goals, work and passive income, friends, everything. So, you know, I'll always do myself in with too many goals. And if I'm distracted in one moment thinking about other goals, then I'm not really present anywhere. So lately I've been trying to just be more present, knowing that there's a certain level of overwhelm, there's a certain level of worry and wondering about other things. But the more I'm present in whatever moment I'm in that moment, that's really all I can do. So there's a certain Zen-like capacity to say, you know, my most important mission right now is to be fully involved in this thing, knowing that I don't know what's going to happen next, but this thing's the most important thing right now. And it helps to give my time to that thing I'm doing, especially if other people are involved. And it also helps to cut down on sort of the free-floating worry about doing it all and getting it all done.
Great. And then the other question is just, how long has this been an issue?
So Cheryl is saying, as long as you choose the right career or best career, maybe that means the career you're passionate about or that you love, that you're happy in, then all three are balanced. I can attest that that has been the case for her since I've known her for a while. She used to be in the automotive industry. Now she is in the non-profit industry, and she's much happier. She's so much happier and relaxed.
It's great. Definitely makes a difference to be passionate about what you're doing.
And what about for us, Wendy? Career, family, health. Are we balancing all three? Do you think I'm balancing all three, Wendy?
Pretty well.
Thank you. I think you're
I saw you earlier today after you left the gym, so.
Thank you. Very good. Well, yeah, the name of the game is to maintain it, to have the right system so you can maintain it and not fall off track. So Gary, has been an issue in my early career, but focusing on balance these days makes it a lot easier and more fulfilling. Jody has a little bit of issues, but she's working on all three. Okay, very good. Anybody else would like to share your experience about balancing these three areas: work, relations, and health? Okay, and all right. So let's move forward, and you can always use the question box or unmute yourself.
Can't get in fast enough.
Okay, so the big question is, what do you think is going to take to make a shift if you have some issues like Jody, or maybe you're not in the right career, you're not as satisfied, and Wendy reworked this beautiful graph with the help of her beloved husband. So I'll let her explain it.
I don't think there's a lot to explain. The idea is just that over time you want all of them to be able to improve. So you're at one place today, and assuming that as the numbers increase towards the right, it's a good thing.
Right. Very good. Fantastic. So we would love to see your schedule looking like this graph. And maybe red can be relations, green can be health, and blue can be business or career, so that you are able to manage it well with the right breaks in between. And you can do this with the help of your coach, of course. And Mary, I have to unmute you because there are some noises coming from you. So, okay. And anybody else who would like to share any other thoughts? And then if not, we go to the surprise for you. Anything else, Wendy, you like to share?
No.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. So this session, of course, there is so much more we could cover, making sure we look at your specific time and needs and wants, the lifestyle you want, and how much time you have, although we all have 24 hours. It's pretty fair like that for everybody. And we wanted to really bring awareness, and I believe you all have it now. You have more awareness of yourself first and where you're at currently in your life. So taking a little bit of inventory, taking stock so that you can improve these challenge areas. Is everybody with us? Okay, Mary says definitely she has more awareness. Thank you. Fantastic. Great. Okay, so we have something very special for you. Wendy and I have decided to dedicate one entire day, not complete, not 24 hours, but can be 24 hours if you want. So it's going to be in Las Vegas, but there will be an option to connect remotely via streaming. We're actually going to make sure we all have it's streaming well. We're going to test it on Friday. And Wendy, you're going to bring the Wi-Fi extender, right? Yeah. So it's going to be Friday, September 27 in 6 weeks. And we have a lot of surprises. It's from 9 to 4:30. Come a little earlier to register if you come live. Tickets to Las Vegas are really inexpensive. We have a special lunch that we were able to secure with our special connection at the best Italian restaurant in town. Of course, I can vouch for it. And that night there's going to be, okay, so in the night, if you want to come back, there will be jazz, free jazz. But also that same night, if you want to make a weekend out of it, I was able to secure free tickets to the Greek Mediterranean Festival. Is literally 1 block from my home. It's huge in a wonderful grassy field with lots of culture, products, and produce from the Mediterranean and Greece, family style. It's really gorgeous, and you won't even have to pay because we have special connection and we got free tickets for you. So the cost, so let me share it. One second, is only $97. Literally, we are just covering the cost of the room. Let me share. And we want to be able to work with you on your specifics. Am I forgetting anything, Wendy?
Nope.
Okay, so I wanted to share the Eventbrite link. So, okay, there we go. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, who's free on September 27 and wants to make it a great day for you and your partner, life partner, and perhaps business partner?
I can say I just did an event. I just sponsored the MGM's Women's Leadership Conference and did a dinner for all of the coaches. I flew in Sunday night at that same Italian restaurant, and for $24, the chef did for us bacon wrapped dates, burrata bruschetta, 3 different kinds of salad, grilled chicken breast, swordfish, homemade sausage, this special sausage that's veal, pork, and beef that is stuffed between 2 lemon leaves and then grilled, which I think is everybody's favorite, and then 2 different kinds of pizzas.
Very good. And the pizza is made so light with the yeast that comes from apricot kernels to make sure that you don't get thirsty, that you stay light, you're able to digest it. I mean, the guy has the best ingredients, is really the best Italian chef in town. And if you're lucky, he may even sing for us because he's also a trained opera singer with his wife, yeah?
Well, his wife's a trained jazz singer.
Okay, we may be able to convince them. So on this day, we will have time to really go over your specific priorities and calendar. See if there is anything you need to eliminate, get rid of, let go of once for all, specifically to you. We'll see what your new commitments to yourself first should be exactly. And your priorities are going to be clear, of course, with all this fun and healthy initiatives. You will definitely renew your energy. You will feel lighter and therefore continue to grow and be effective with your R&R. How does that sound? So also please feel free. Let me give you the links. Let me give you the links here in the question box. So if anybody you know, let them know. And it may be fun to come in a group with the people you care about the most. And there you go. Again, we made it as affordable as possible. We're just covering our cost of the internet and rent of the room, etc. So I hope you all can either come live, we want to see you in person, or connect stream, okay, virtually. So here are the links to sign up. I put them in the chat box. Anything else I'm forgetting, Wendy? Any other question, anybody? All right. And here are the links. You can register, and any of these links. And here they are. Everyone. Perfect. Okay. So let me see. Any question about any time management, stress management, energy, reigniting to wrap it up with? Okay, we have a question. Oh, okay, Cheryl says, very illuminating. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Fantastic. Okay, you'll also get the recording in case you missed anything. So let's, thank you, Mary. So let's hear from you one thing as a result of today's illumination you are gonna do next. One new actions you're gonna take, whether it's to do some planning or rework your priorities. Let us see it in the question box. And while you do that, thank you so much, Wendy, for being with us today. You are an amazing coach and leader, and definitely your experience working with some of the biggest executives in the world is coming through. If they are able, thanks to your support, to manage their priorities, we certainly can as well. Yes? Great.
Thanks for having me, Elena.
My pleasure. So Mary is going to remind herself to put herself first. Very good. Cheryl, commitment to herself. Very good. It's a need. No, It's not a matter of being selfish. And okay, Matthew's going to think about what goals various tasks relate to. Okay, Gary's going to adjust his planning and focus more on the balance of the three and self. Very good. Very good. Thank you, Jillian. And Mike, thank you as well. Okay, health first. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Okay, so thank you, Kim. Working on organizing your time better. Fantastic. Good job. Thank you for your participation, everybody. And I'm sure you'll have more questions. And we will make sure you put yourself first and continue, stay re-energized. Thank you, Jody. So we can consider it a wrap today. We managed our time. We stay within the hour. And you are free to go take care of yourself.
Thank you, Elena.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Wendy. So
Thank you, Wendy.
Bye, everyone.
we will
Okay.
see you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a good day. Good job, everybody. Ciao.